Teraz pozývam na stage Aleca Hagera, ktorý prišiel z Rakúska, je zakladateľom a riaditeľom agentúry pre mobilitu s názvom RadVokát. Je tiež bývalým hovorcom cykloadvokačnej organizácie Rad Lobby Austria. Vedie školu bicyklovania, vytvoril koncept bicyklových ihrísk vo Viedni a v Grácii. V minulosti bol tiež supervízorom národnej cyklodopravnej kampane Österreich radelt. Priblíži nám bicyklové ihriská a vytvárania priestorov pre deti, pre zábavu aj učenie sa na bicykli. Welcome.
Thank you for the invitation. And I was invited to tell the story about the development of RadSpielPlatz, of cycling playgrounds. And now Christina already spoiled the best picture of my presentation. So I hope you still can learn something new, but it's not only about this place, and it's the whole idea behind it that I wanted to present, and everyone who feels like copying it, feel free to do so. So safe space for kids to have fun on bicycles, but also to practice, because kids always, when they have fun, they practice things. That's how kids learn, and that's what we should support by giving them the best possible circumstances. So the background of myself and of the project was that our NGO is running cycling trainings. We have a cycling school in Vienna, and the problem always was where to do these trainings. There is no proper space for it. And then, of course, we had an inspiration, and of course, Denmark, as a cycling nation with good ideas, the Cykellegebanen was a mobile cycling playground, and I saw a presentation about this, and I thought, wow, cool, let's do something like this. And I came up with this concept of the RadSpielPlatz. So it was more like a colorful sketch of ideas, how to implement it, give it some funny names. And it was part of an idea competition of the economical agency of the city of Vienna, where we won the first award from the jury and from the audience. And so from this concept idea, then we got some money to realize it. And we had some reasons why to realize it. And it was these three barriers are the main barriers for kids to learn cycling in an urban environment. Is a lack of safe, accessible place. So where could they do this? Then we were talking about this a lot today, the willingness or the ability of the parents to support them, to teach them cycling simply, is also decreasing. And that there is simply no bicycles available at home. So that's also, let's say, a topic of mobility poverty in a way. And so the cycling playground was meant to be a solution to all these three things. So always also include bicycles and helmets at the bicycle playground, so people could come there, parents could come there with the kids to practice. And I spent the money that we got for the competition to visit playgrounds in Denmark, cycling playgrounds. So there was 5 existing cycling playgrounds in Denmark in these days, in 2018. And they're very, very different. So I bring some short examples. So this is more like an adventure off-road park, more like dunes with some grass on top. Then this one is a very funny, like a child book game. It's next to a primary school, and so the kids can cycle through the nose of the giant, because this is also part of this child book story. And then you have these more urban battlegrounds that you can find inside of Copenhagen, where there's less space, everything is more concrete, everything is more asphalt, but also very nice design. And so we took these ideas, and we also learned that there is some elements that should be part of it, and that's of course fresh water, fresh air, and toilets. Toilets is the biggest challenge as far as I have learned in the last years, because it's quite expensive to implement toilets somewhere. You need water to drink, you need also water to treat the little wounds that kids get when they cycle, so don't be afraid of a little bit of falling, don't be afraid of a little bit of tears, that's part of the learning process, and you need some air for the tires. But it should not be like this playground in Denmark, it shouldn't be boring and it shouldn't be dangerous, because this kind of obstacle here is really not helping, because it's just making kids afraid, and parents, if you cannot put a toddler on this kind of obstacles. So we came back to Vienna, we had these learnings, and we had the chance to make a first prototype in Vienna. So we took these ideas that we had, or that I had, and then we took the ideas to the reality, and we built it with like wooden prototypes. We tested it with the kids, we tested it with our cycling trainers, and then we made an intervention, a temporary playground, a tactical urbanism DIY paint shop. So we painted the street in front of this big school there. So it was us and the kids painting the surface and implementing different kind of lines, and like this, it was the first, let's say, cycling playground that we could realize in Vienna. And there was some mobile obstacles, the lines on the floor, and we also have mobile traffic signs that you could put there to teach the kids what they mean. And then there was the first real contract to make a cycling playground in a newly development area in Vienna, the Seestadt Aspern, which is quite famous for several reasons. It's like a city on its own with 20,000 inhabitants at the boundaries of Vienna. And there we had to put these obstacles that were first on our mind, and then on the paper, and then on the self-built wood. We had to put them into real construction plans, working together with architects. And we came with these 11 elements that are lines or that are obstacles, and that were implemented in the reality at the Seestadt Aspern area. So that was the concept of it, was put these elements together in a kind of ideal 900 square meter layout. So that's not a lot of space, but you need to provide it somewhere in your city. And what is quite obvious is we were thinking about a lot of free space. So you can see a lot of lines here, but lines are not an obstacle in the terms of that kids have to obey them. It's just a little bit, it gives orientation, but you can simply forget about them. So kids can cycle nearly wherever they want to, because what you really have to learn to be fit for traffic in a city is that there could be targets, conflicts, sources of conflicts everywhere, coming from every direction. So if you put the kids on a simple street design to learn what they should do in real traffic, they don't learn what they should learn, to be aware, to react. And it's also more fun for them to invent how to move on this space. So this was implemented on an area that was partly underneath a subway and part of a bigger recreational area close to this subway. And so we implemented the parts there. We also implemented the columns of the subway. And so this was the rendering, and reality looks like this now. So here we have the obstacles, the subway, we have the bicycles to rent, and we have trainings there. The city of Vienna is financing trainings there. On weekends, parents can come and get the bikes and practice with the kids. So that was the implementation number one. That's the whole, let's say, scenery of the Seestadt Aspern, the lake town Aspern. And here you can see the cycling playground over there. There's different other playgrounds, and so it's a kind of big recreational area. And then is coming the big cycling playground for Vienna. It's called the Radmotorikpark, the bicycle motoric park. It's close to the Danube. It was inspired by our example. It was not planned by me, but Motoric Dreams. And this is the picture that you showed before. So you can see with this drone picture that it's a really big area. Then you have a lot of different big obstacles, pump track elements. It's suitable for kids with only a running bike. It's suitable for older kids. And behind this picture up there is also a big pump track. So the older kids can be on the pump tracks, which is really good because then they do not disturb or interfere with the smaller kids that need more safer space, and they don't want to fight for the space with 14-year-old kids on BMX. And so, but what you can see here is that these designers sometimes have a fear of empty spaces. So also here the obstacles are a little bit too close. Kids don't have the free space where they could really do what they would like to do in this moment. And so this is you can see these obstacles close by. You can see the pump track up there. And we also have the luxury there that we have a set of lot of bicycles there, helmets, and we can do trainings there. and also that the parents can come on the weekend with the kids and rent the bikes for free, of course. Yeah, and so the next step of this, let's say this where we are now, is we are now planning 2 cycling playgrounds for the city of Graz in Styria. So you can see at this article that they should be ready. 2024, there will be 2 cycling playgrounds. We are really hoping that they will be done in June. I hope we can open them. And the idea in Graz was not to make a new cycling to develop a new area, but we got like the picture on top is an old soccer ground. It's already concrete, and the one below is a kind of parking space mixture in front of a school. So City of Graz approached us and said we should develop a better use of these spaces because, better have a cycling playground than a parking, I would say. So that's where we are now. We are working together with a planning office in Graz, Verkehr Plus, and this is the layout for the former soccer square, where we can implement the obstacles, the lines, and we also can open up the concrete for some spaces to implement more trees and a little bit of recreational area where the parents can sit in the shade and take care of their kids. Yeah, so. And we also implement some obstacles that you can simply buy from producers to add them to our own design. Yeah, and this is what we want to have. We want to have fun on the playgrounds. We want the kids to have fun, to learn. And all kids should not only learn how to swim, which is part of the education, they all should learn how to cycle. Thank you.
Ďakujeme. Máme aj nejakú otázku z publika? Nemáme žiadnu. I have a question. Are these ideas that you came up with scalable? Are we able to bring over your blueprint and just build it ourselves in Slovakia? Or what should we do if we'd like to see something like that here?
I mean, I was inspired by these playgrounds in Denmark, so inspiration is something very important, so you can take whatever you saw, but there is also construction plans that we also can hand out to you that would maybe implement some fees, but what we learned is also that we always have to think about the specific space where it's implemented, so we never could come up with the sketch of the perfect 900 square meter playground. It's always different use cases. So, I mean, you can always contact me. So it's like easy@radvokaten.at. But you can also simply send me the pictures of the cycling playground that you made in a year. I'm happy about it.
Ďakujeme pekne, to bol Alec Hager.